He has a striking design, a legacy of artistic greatness, and a huge Disney Plus hit series. But even he may not be able to answer, who is Moon Knight? Hey y'all, welcome back to Carbon Scoring, the best place for comics history and action figures. Here's everything you need to know about Marvel's newest breakout star. Moon Knight first appeared in Werewolf by Night 32 all the way back in 1975 and was created by writer Doug Moench and artist Don Perlin. From there, he popped up in Spectacular Spider-Man, Marvel 2-in-1, and The Defenders. But the character really started gaining ground as the backup feature in Hulk's large format magazine. This was where Doug Moench teamed up with artist Bill Sienkiewicz, forming not just the most difficult to pronounce comics duo, but the men who would cement the character of Moon Knight. The team was rewarded with their own title, and gave the lead character a revised origin to go along with it. Moon Knight's real name is Marc Spector, a boxer turned marine turned mercenary for hire. Along with his best friend and pilot Frenchie, Spector takes a job working for the mercenary Raoul Bushman. He's the bad guy. While on a job in Egypt, they come across the archaeologist Dr. Peter Alraine and his daughter Marlene. Alraine discovered a hidden temple, but seeking the treasures for himself, Bushman murders the old man. Standing up for right for the first time, Spector battles Bushman, but is easily defeated and left to die in the cold desert night. On death's door, Spector is spirited away to the temple of the moon god Khonshu, where he breathes his last breath. But Khonshu is not finished with Spector, granting him a return to life if he becomes the god's champion. Covering himself in a white shroud, he takes on the mantle of Moon Knight. Marlene and Mark become lovers, and along with Frenchie, they set up shop in New York City. Pretty standard superhero stuff thus far, but that's when it gets interesting. Spector has dissociative identity disorder, a condition previously referred to as multiple personalities. In addition to the primary personality of mercenary Marc Spector, he is also Stephen Grant, suave millionaire financier in the mold of Bruce Wayne, as well as Jake Lockley, a salt-of-the-earth cab driver who provides the others with inside dirt on the underworld. Sienkiewicz's version is considered the classic Moon Knight, and thankfully we have gotten several figures depicted in this costume. Beginning with Marvel Select's 7-inch figure released in 2006. With its well-sculpted detail and rough-hewn texture, this figure is very reminiscent of Sienkiewicz's early art on the title, particularly when he and Moench were doing the backup stories in the Hulk magazine. Sienkiewicz originally had a Neil Adams style, and this figure captures that well. It also came with a statue of Khonshu base accessory. Another classic version came in the Marvel Universe line of 3 3/4 inch figures in 2009. Again, this hits all the notes of Sienkiewicz's Moon Knight, with a fit but not overly muscular physique and that blinding all-white costume with the black hooded face. An area where this figure was particularly successful is with the cape, which curves down and inward at the ends to provide the crescent silhouette motif that Sienkiewicz's Moon Knight was known for. The first volume lasted 38 issues, and arguably peaked with issue 26. Originally intended to be a 7-page backup story, Sienkiewicz stretched it to 16 syncopated pages, fusing the backbeat of a jazz club with the story of aggression born from child abuse, in a tale titled Hit It. Here, Sienkiewicz is beginning to expand on the abstract art he would later become famous for, and Moench's storytelling weaves a tale in which even Moon Knight is unable to overcome his base impulses. The second volume was a 6-inch miniseries titled Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu that I read so that you won't have to. While the outfit was essentially the same, there were a couple of changes, namely the gold highlights on the wrist gauntlets, belt, and boots, and the changing of the chest symbol from the crescent to a gold ankh. The only meaningful addition to Moon Knight's mythology is the concept that his powers are increased by the phase of the moon. The Marc Spector Moon Knight title managed to serve up every 90s comic trope: gratuitous guest stars, art over story, and of course, armored Moon Knight. Sadly, it lasted 60 issues, longer than any other Moon Knight book. And it was most notable for the introduction of superstar artist and 90s art stereotype come to life, Stephen Platt. I mean, look at that belt and tell me how you're going to fight with that thing on. There's no way we got a figure from this, right? Wrong. 1997's Marvel Gold figure fits the bill. The overblown muscles, the gigantic belt. I realize it wasn't on purpose, but seriously, this thing is like the living embodiment of 90s exaggerated goodness. The fact that it came out at the same time makes it even better. The Marvel Gold line was a chance to produce lesser-known characters for specific retailers, like KB Toys. They were basically leftovers, but with soft good features like this cape, they were often better than the original figures they were based on. Mooney's next significant appearance was in Marvel Team-Up issue 7 in 2005, part of a 5-issue storyline drawn by Scott Collins and written by, let me check my notes, Robert Kirkman. I wonder what happened to that guy. To the best of my knowledge, this was the only time Moon Knight wore an all-black suit, so of course, Toy Biz produced this Moon Knight in the MODOK Build-A-Figure wave that was released in October of 2006. While it is an undoubtedly great figure, with a terrific base body, excellent shoulder articulation, and a perfect crescent cape that scoops together at the ends. We'll come back to this cape in a little bit. Why would you make your Marvel Legends debut in what is essentially a one-off costume? And yes, I am aware that there was a variant figure, but it's silver. It's still not white. For the 5th volume of Moon Knight, crime writer Charlie Davis took Spector to some of his lowest lows in an opening arc titled The Bottom. Superstar artist David Finch was the perfect partner for this gritty horror storyline, which sees a Moon Knight at his most battered, broken, and desperate, carve the face off of his nemesis, the Bushman. Yeah, we've come a long way from this. Which is why I am so happy to tell you that the action figure that best represents Finch's costume design is the one from Marvel's Superhero Squad. Hear me out. Finch's Moon Knight had a gold buckle and gold crescent darts on the belt, and this is the only figure that had those elements. I'm calling it. This is equal to this. Moon Knight sits alongside Punisher and Ghost Rider as the most unusual inclusions in the Marvel Superhero Squad line, which makes it that much cooler. Next, in 2009, came Vengeance of Moon Knight by writer Greg Hurwitz and artist Jerome Opina. It only lasted 10 issues, but Opina did design a modified armor suit for Spector, which seems to be the basis for this, the Mezco 112 action figure. Mezco tends to take some liberties when producing their 112 figures, and as high-end collectibles, that's okay. But there are clearly shades of the exo armor pieces placed all around the suit from Opina's designs. There is no doubt this is a great piece, with an intricately articulated base body and a soft goods costume, as well as an unmasked bonus head. This is not the Moon Knight you want to run into in a back alley. For the 6th volume of Moon Knight, the fan-favorite team of Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev returned to the concept of dissociative identity disorder, this time having Spector inexplicably believe himself to be Spider-Man, Captain America, and Wolverine. Oh boy. If it hasn't become abundantly obvious at this point, after 4 decades of stories by some of the greatest creators in comics history, no one knew what to do with Moon Knight. Until finally came Warren Ellis and Declan Shalvey for the definitive Moon Knight run. Ellis acknowledged the previous continuity, but wasn't bound by it. His distinct identities for Moon Knight included Mr. Knight, a holdover from his Secret Avengers run, and a Khonshu outfitted Knight. This run clearly influenced the Disney Plus series. We've seen the promo shots of Mr. Knight, and the way Moon Knight's costume wraps around him is very similar to Shalvey's art. Not to mention, if you look closely, you'll see that skull of Khonshu featured as well. But Ellis' storytelling wouldn't be complete without Declan Shalvey's clean, kinetic art. From mind-bending psychological scenery to brutal fight scenes, such as the 5-flight battle in the 5th issue, Shalvey brought Ellis' ideas to 2-dimensional life. Shalvey also provided another redesign of Moon Knight's costume. Unique, but maintaining key components of the original. I had not yet read the series when this Marvel Legends figure premiered in 2017, and as you might expect, I found it to be another missed opportunity by the Legends team to provide us with a true classic Moon Knight. Now, having absorbed this phenomenal run, I am so psyched to have a perfect personification of Shalvey's art. It's just fantastic. But still, I speak for everyone when I say we still needed a classic Moon Knight. Finally, through a 2020 Walgreens exclusive, we got the 6-inch Moon Knight we were waiting for. This figure was everything you could want in a highly articulated, mass-produced figure, including tons of accessories such as 5 crescent darts, 2 head sculpts, and his bow staff. His only weakness? They used the same cape from the Shalvey figure, which doesn't have the crescent scooping ends that are such a vital part to Moon Knight's look. The solution? A simple switch with the original Toy Biz cape. This works seamlessly, and not only does it improve the silhouette of the figure, the black washed interior of the cape really makes the figure beneath pop. Can't get enough of the combination of comic and action figure history? Then check out this series on Spider-Man's continuity as told through action figures. And go ahead and subscribe to Carbon Scoring so you won't miss out on any of the great stuff we've got coming.